What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we are going to be talking about Yuumi, one of my least favorite characters in League of Legends, probably a lot of your guys' as well. I know a lot of people hate this champion. Some people obviously love her, playing her, just being annoying as her. She's very good in professional games. She's really good in high elo at times when she's actually in meta and she's not nerfed in the ground. She is definitely unique, somewhat interesting, but man, she can really feel terrible to play against. A lot of people think she's unbalanced. A lot of people think she's one of the worst champions ever created. And Riot posted a dev blog about her yesterday, and we're going to be going through it. This is called Ask Riot Delete Yuumi. Before we get in this one, I just want to mention real quick, if you're not already subscribed, definitely click that subscribe button really quick. It helps you guys stay updated on the latest content and helps me out a ton as well. Also, check out the link for Robinhood in the description below if you want to receive a free stock just for signing up. You don't need to put any money on. But with that being said, here we go. Talking about Yuumi, whether Riot's going to delete her or not. So first up, what are their thoughts on Yuumi? Why is Yuumi a brain-dead champion that even a real cat could play? Why should she even exist? Do you think Yuumi is balanced? And why did they nerf her healing mana cost so hard this patch? So first up, talking about, is Yuumi a brain-dead champion that even a cat could play? So actually, they think this is a misconception, and the most clear way to show why we believe that is to share her champion mastery curve in comparison to other champions. This pretty much shows when you've played no games as Yuumi, what is your win rate, and then once you've played up to 100 or maybe 80 games as Yuumi, what is your win rate. As you can see, your first game with Yuumi, you start with a 35% win rate, which is even lower than like a Kali, which is a really hard champion, or Kiana. It's like a little bit higher than Kiana. So they think she's more like a Kali and Kiana, where after you've played like 80 games, you can get up to a 51% win rate. But before then, even at like 40 games played, you're only right around a 50% win rate. So they don't think Yuumi is overpowered. They don't think she's like this pick up and easy to play champion, where you can see like Nico. Your first game with Nico, you have a 46% win rate. Your first game with Mordekaiser, you have almost a 50% win rate. They definitely see her as a harder champion, and I think that's just because she's so different. Someone like Mordekaiser, he plays very similarly to most other juggernauts in the game. If you played a melee champion before, you can pretty much play Mordekaiser. But Yuumi, most people picking up and playing her for the first time, they don't even know what she does. She's so different. You don't know the play style. She's not like a traditional enchanter support or even range poke support or anything like that, or healing support. She's just so different. So when you first start off, it's not even because she's like difficult mechanically or anything to play. She just has such a different game pattern. But then obviously people get used to that, and then I don't know. I get what they're saying here. I don't know if this is maybe the best way to just describe if a champion's super easy to play or not, because yeah, like if you actually know what you're doing and you know all the abilities and stuff, I don't know. It'd be interesting, but they do show this. They say she is kind of a harder champion as opposed to one of the easier champions like Nico, Nunu, or Mordekaiser. So I think that, I mean, it's a fair point. It is a good point. I'd like to write in the graphs and stuff. They say it is important to identify when it's safe to hop out and use your passive in chaotic teamfights, because you're going to get hit by CC and just die. And you're so squishy. You're so vulnerable. Failure to use Yuumi's passives at all means leaving a lot of value on the table in the form of shields and mana. Using your passive at the wrong time means getting CC'd and killed. Identifying who you should attach to, because you can't support more than one person at a time. The heal has no range. There's a lot of downsides that they talk to. Weaving Q around targets that you aren't trying to hit is more simple. Which is a more simple but still unique skill test. That is, I guess, a little bit, but man, that's all skill shots. Most skill shots you do have to like set up a little bit, and you have this skill shot you can actually control. I think that's a bad point. I think it is fair to critique some of their points. That one should not have been in there. Managing vision control while being the slowest and squishiest champion in the game is a particularly challenging version of a skill test all supports have. That is fair. It is hard to get vision stuff down on her compared to some other supports, and especially the higher up you get, that vision actually does matter a lot. All of this combines to make Yuumi a difficult champion to master, and that is true just because she has so many unique things going on. But I think in terms of just the gameplay, I just think it comes through in such like a toxic, just unfun to play against way, a hard to punish. Just feels terrible. You might compare this to someone like Sin, whose proxy playstyle is totally different. It takes around 100 games to master a little bit, but again, still, I even think that it's completely different. So why should Yuumi even exist? To be direct, we believe Yuumi fills a unique role in the champion roster, both in playstyle and thematically. We look at a champion's popularity, we break it down into depth and breadth. Depth is a measure of the average number of games a person puts into a champion, and breadth is a measure of how many different players play a champion. So you see, here's a graph showing Yuumi's popularity since her launch. The thinnest part of the line indicates when she was released, and the thickest is from patch 10.12. So she started out with a lot of breadth, and a little bit of depth, and then she's kind of circled all around. But she ends up being pretty popular, partly because I think she's so good, but yeah, partly people do really enjoy playing her. Also, she is pretty brain dead. But yeah, I don't know. She's definitely not like an Aurelion Sol or Skarn or anything. But yeah, she's in honestly the more popular side. If you're in this top right square, that means you are pretty popular, pretty played. If you look at Yumi's depth of play, you can see there's consistently a large group of players who engage deeply, even when she's objectively weak. When she has a reasonable win rate for most players, Yuumi is one of our most broadly played supports. Do we think Yuumi is balanced? Excluding the most recent set of changes, we'll talk about that next, I think it is safe to say that no. We don't think Yuumi has been in a state that's balanced, or at least in a good place in regards to game health. The biggest game health issue we've consistently faced with Yuumi is ensuring she has sufficient counter play, which is probably why she's so frustrating to play against, and she's perceived as being easy. I mean, yeah, if you get Yuumi on a massive carry, we've seen Garen Yuumi, we've seen Yuumi with Corki, we've seen Yuumi with so many different of these hyper carries that just they become unkillable. Yumi's unkillable. I don't know. I really like the idea that people have thrown around of Yuumi taking some percentage of the health damage you deal to the person that she's inside. Then you at least have a way to punish her a little bit, and she doesn't just stay in them for free. But man, her being able to just sit inside a hyper carry and freely just buff them and make them a champion who there's already some champions who can just straight 1v9 when they're fed in the game. Then you throw a Yuumi on top of it. Even if the Yuumi's 0-10, she's still doing something. I don't know. I don't know. I think it feels pretty terrible. But again, she was kind of gutted in this last patch. Maybe it'll make her a little bit better to play against. But maybe it'll just make her so bad that I don't know. It's just it doesn't seem right. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with Yuumi. We agree that Yuumi hasn't been fair to play against. That's nice that they're at least saying that. But this doesn't mean that Yuumi shouldn't exist. It just means that we have to get more creative to ensure that she does have adequate avenues for counterplay. In practice, this means making sure that Yuumi has to exit the safety of an ally and interact with opponents regularly. I think that's a good change. I do think that makes a lot of sense. And then why did they nerf her healing mana cost so hard on this patch? These changes are intended to force Yuumi to utilize her passive in order to be effective, which means she has to regularly detach from her ally and interact with opponents, obviously to get the mana back and stuff. So I think that's actually a really good change. It is starting to make more sense to me now. When we last made changes regarding Yuumi in patch 9.24, we tried making it easier and more rewarding for opponents to capitalize on her squishiness when she detached from an ally, adding cast time to her W and putting on cooldown if it was interrupted by CC. I think that was an awesome change. However, she's been able to take items and runes that have kept her mana topped off without needing to consistently use her passive. So yeah, I think they are slowly adding some counterplay into this champion. What do they think of Yuumi? Our answer is that we believe Yuumi is a successful champion. She offers a unique and resonant playstyle, and yeah, players seem to like her. They are playing her a lot. And then at the bottom, they just throw in that Nexus Blitz is going to be the next featured game mode. The next featured game mode will be one for all. Just some extra little tidbits at the end. But yeah, that's pretty much what Riot thinks about Yuumi. They are seeing a ton of success there. People really like her. People are playing her a lot. People are playing her often, even when she's weaker. She still has a dedicated player base, which is good. That's good for Riot. And if you like League of Legends, I mean, that's good to see people happy and excited about a champion in the game. But she does need to have more counterplay. I like the CC changes to where if she hops out and gets CC'd, it goes on cooldown. I like the changes to her needing to hop in and out of people more often, get more mana. I think they're on the right track with Yuumi. I don't think Yuumi needs to be deleted, but in the current state that she was in a couple patches ago, I think it was absolutely terrible to play against. But it does seem Riot's on the right track, and I do trust them. Even though game design is very, very hard. They don't always hit the mark directly, but they usually eventually do the right thing. And I think that's what they're going to do with Yuumi as well. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about Yuumi? What do you think Riot should do with her? Do you think she should be deleted? Subscribe to update on the latest content. Check out the link for Robinhood in the description below if you want to receive a free stock just by signing up. You don't have to put any money on. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.